Hello, family and friends. Welcome to GodFidence. You can see it's Darlene, and maybe Fuller will be coming in. But I thought I would come on and start. You guys would not believe me, but I decided to do this let's take a tour of the house, this new house. And so I was telling you in this I was going to have to record it because I was outside having to do it. I did it like a whole like 20 minutes, and I thought it was going to be so good. And so I was outside, and I knew that you step away from your Wi-Fi inside the house, and I thought it was going to hold up, and so it didn't. But it was so like I was so professional. I was doing like a YouTube live video. It was all that. And then I was watching it, and y'all tell me if you want me to post it, I'll post it. But this actually was pretty good. So I was wanting to do what I saw this lady doing on YouTube, and she was doing a tour of her house. And I know some people be like, "Well, darling, who asked you to do a tour of your house? How you know people want to see a tour of your house?" I don't know if you do or don't. I was just gonna go ahead and just kind of talk about houses and how we got started because I had so many people. Oh, and by the way, welcome to GodFidence. And it is like the end of the month, September, and we got a whole bunch to talk about. But I'm gonna stick to the subject because I mentioned to you guys that we now are trying to make sure we get everything in. And so we do our shout outs at the beginning. Hey, everybody that's joining. If I don't call out your name, it doesn't mean that we don't see that you're there. It just means that we're keeping it moving. And so, but had a good weekend of football, stressful week of football. Our Georgia Bulldogs, that was a game on Saturday night. They didn't hold out. They did good, second half. Then we went to the football game, see the Falcons. Falcons be stressing me mad out. But they pulled it out. And so I am so hold on. Well, hold on, because let me put some stuff on mute. Okay. And so, but we got a chance to go game. That was good. It ended up working itself out. And so, but anyway, so I wanted to talk about houses. Now, if Fuller shows up, then great. If he doesn't, then that's okay. I wanted to kind of bring you guys into my mode of thinking because I've had several people say they saw the house, the old house, they saw the new house, and I've had people ask me, so darling, so how did you come up with this this color? I mean, this black is beautiful, but what made you? It's like all out. I mean, how do you make the decision to decide you're gonna come up with a black house? Okay, so the one thing that I learned through this process is let me start kind of at the beginning. So when Fuller and I were thinking about looking at houses, we did look first. We went to a couple of different areas that we really liked in Fayetteville, Peachtree City. We just began to look around, had our realtor to kind of give us some ideas. Just somebody had used before and knows this area. And so we had them to look. And, every house that we saw, we were going to have to repair it and do a lot of work. And I was like, for the amount of money they want for these houses, I think, wouldn't it be okay if we built our own the way we wanted it? So what we did was we found our real estate agent said, well, I found a person who will build a custom home. There's a neighborhood that's all they're building is custom homes. So whatever you want to build, that's what they'll build. And so she said, if you got a design, bring it, and we will present it to them. And by the way, one of the rooms that you can see I'm in, this is our study. This is our office. And it's got the barnyard doors back there. Let me move my hand back here. And they lock. And but a few of our rooms have barnyard doors. Okay, I digress. But so we started looking at coming up with these designs. And I just found something on the internet. And I don't know why I chose that particular one, but I chose it and I just said, well, can you build this? I don't know if I meant is can you actually build that one and that I didn't have others in mind. We just started. It started happening so fast that we didn't really slow down to really think that, okay, this is like for real, moving forward. And so by the time we got into the yes, we're ready to go, we'd already made the decision on that design. So he took it. The builder said, yes, we can do that, and started kind of sent it to an architecture design person, and he designed it. And so one of the things that I was saying in my little demo, my taking a tour of the house outside, because I started in the outside of the house. And, I was just saying that when it came to the color of the house, a lot of people we know and neighborhoods that we see, everybody seems to be doing this white house with the black trim. I love it, though. I love it. I really do. I love those houses. My girlfriend and her husband have built it now. Oh, just fabulous. Oh, it just gives me chills. Manisha and Mike Dalco. And the house is like simply amazing. And I ain't taking anything away from this house, but I'm so blessed to have friends that are at that level. Because I was like, oh, Lord, y'all done brought me to a whole nother mind frame. And so we just said, you know what, let's look at, some darker brick colors, because the red brick, people really don't do the red brick. Some do the brown brick. And so we saw this apartment complex over where our other house is. And we said, you know what, let's see if we can find that particular brick. So we presented it to the builder. The builder said, let me look around, or you go to the brick store, whatever. So we went, didn't see it. And so then he said, well, how about we do this? How about you take the brick? Let's just get a basic brick. And then we looked for a long time. So it wasn't like he just came back and said, why don't you do this? No, he said, since you can't find the exact one that you want, because everyone would put on the house, they would put a sample up on the wall. We were like, because then you got to go get it to match the stone, because we knew the stone was in the picture of the other house. So we wanted the stone. And so so he brings this some brick, and he said, okay, I'm going to do this. On the side of the house, I've got some ideas on the color. We can paint the brick. And so he said, you like that brown? So we'll put a brown swat or paint palette on the wall of the outside of the house. We'll do a smoky gray. We'll do a dark gray. We'll do a chocolate. We'll do a black. And you can choose from the 3 or 4. So we looked at it and we were like, all of them kind of look about the same. So anyway, we ended up choosing one of the colors. And that color happened to be caviar. We say black, but it is actually caviar, like the food. And when they painted on a small portion of the house first, and it was black. And I was like, I don't know about that. And then I was thinking, now, what's our other options? Because I don't want a red brick house, because they ended up bricking the house. And it's just something about when you see the beginning phases of, once you've made your decision, because I done jumped a whole bunch of levels from, I think about that song that Fuller and I love called See What the Lord Has Done by Nathaniel Bassey. And from looking at the lot to seeing the stones in the big empty lot, to now them breaking the stones up, rolling them away. Y'all know what I'm going with that. Rolling the stones away. And then now this lot is just empty. And now they start pouring the foundation. And now they start putting up the wood and the frame of the house. And then you start seeing the roof go on. And then you start seeing they now started building inside the house. And you really can't tell on the inside, even though I saw the designs. My eyes are not, I didn't do really that great in my graphics design or drafting class. I was an engineering student, but sometimes I couldn't see 3D. Probably why I stopped doing engineering and I went into information systems. So I digress. But anyway, hey, everybody, welcome to GodFidence. I know you're just joining. So thank you for joining. I'm talking about houses and how we ended up coming up with the design of the house that we're in. And so, but I ended up, let me make sure. we ended up deciding after, we seeing all the things moving forward that, okay, what color we gonna come up with? So we just said, okay, go ahead and paint it the caviar color. Kept calling it black. Painted the black, and we came around to the house one day, and it was painted all black. And I think my heart sank. Like, like, imagine your house. What I felt like. This is just Darling talking. Like they had threw mud all over the house. And I was like, I was just trying to get my mind around, and I was having anxiety because we had to get rid of Fuller's house. We had to sell. We had to move out of my house, which we were living in, and had to sell that, move out to 2 storages. And so all that was in here, along with this house being painted mud, black, whatever. It's just what it is. And so we weren't feeling it, but neither one of us said that to each other. Now, Fuller did say, that's going to have to grow on me. So then in my mind, because I've been watching that show, Yellowstone. So in my mind, I had this ranch, and by that way, the house is a ranch level. It does not have any stairs, upstairs, downstairs. So we cut up the house to fit what we wanted, right? And so, so in my mind, I had that show Yellowstone. It's a Netflix series, or you can find it on demand. And I love that ranch kind of look, even though they probably had, much larger property, but just that Western look. And so when I thought about the pillars on the outside of the house, because there are pillars outside, and what color are those going to be? Fuller said, and I just thought about this. He said, how about a smoky gray? I was like, but the house is already caviar, black. And then I thought, what about white pillars? I said, well, that's just a flip of the black and the white house. And then I remember seeing, I think I Googled or Pinterest, went to Pinterest and looked at houses that had the black and brown look. I thought about this today. We wore black and brown for the praise team. So those do go together really nicely. And so I said, how about you find a wood kind of natural wood look for the pillars? Well, I came back, and one day they had the pillars painted. They looked like they were burnt orange. I said, I can't. Then they changed it. I said it needs to be maybe a little bit deeper, natural wood, maybe something browner, or not orange, not burnt orange. Maybe what's the word, you guys? I don't even know. Whatever the color it is now. And really, after they finished that, Fuller just kept saying, baby, I'm going to have to go with you because I can't see it. I ain't feeling it quite yet. And so it was turning my stomach. And I was having a little bit of anxiety about it. And so even if we wanted to change it, I'm thinking, what do you change it to? Because I'm like, I don't really know. And, then I had people say, well, you should have a designer. And then I had the builder's wife was kind of like a designer, and she kind of giving some ideas. And then the builder said, the neighbors were saying like, because I don't know anybody in the neighborhood. They weren't our neighbors yet. And they were like, Rob, what kind of house are you building over there? It looks strange. What are you doing to the neighborhood already? And so he was like, no, just wait. He said, I know it's going to come together. Now, what ended up happening, and in my tour that you didn't get a chance to see, which I can still post if you would like for me to post it, is that it had, the builder said, okay, house is basically done. So, but I would like to really make a statement. And I want to, if you will meet me, I'm going to put X number of dollars into the landscaping. And if you will give me the same amount in the landscaping out of your pocket, then it's going to be beautiful. I promise you. So he brought his landscape person over. And so, you don't know what you're going to get. I don't know a lot about name plants. I knew crepe myrtles, and I knew, some bushes, and we had taken him over our house to see what our house looked like. And, so just to give him an idea. And so when we came back one day, the lawn was done. Now imagine, you have to go with me if you haven't seen the house on Facebook where we compare the old house to now the new. Not compare, but we put side by side old and now we're in the new. Um, when we drove up one day and we saw the landscaping, our mouths dropped. That's what the house needed. Sometimes you need a little bit of lipstick here. You may need a little, I'm using lipstick. You may need a little pretty flower over here. There's some squiggly, like little plants. There's this one pom pom plant that's right up in front. And there are two of them on each side. And then there's those little, like I said, those little squiggly ones that go up. And then one of them looks like it's right now, it looks like it's brown, like dead. And so our friend Mike and Manisha, who came over one day, Mike said, "Well, darling, let it stay where it is for now, because you've uprooted these plants and from its natural state into your yard. And so it's going to catch, but you got to give it some time to get adjusted to the soil and get it watered and all of that." And so, because a couple of other trees that were like Christmas trees on the other side of the house, they actually they needed to be replaced. And I wanted them to replace it soon because I don't want the builder folks to leave. And you know how it's hard to get back in touch with people after they felt like they got their money. And so we ended up having, we're going to leave the trees. But when he finished the landscaping, we were so in awe of how the house now looked. Now, in my opinion, what really sealed the deal for me, that we did talk to the landscape person about putting lights on the house, and somehow he forgot about doing that. However, I have a gentleman by the name of Leonard Russell. And if you're interested in lighting on your property, I got just about a contact for anything you need. So Mr. Russell, who did our fire pit and put lighting on the outside of our house and lighting around our fire pit in our old property, came over and surveyed the property. And then he scheduled some time, came back over and said, "Okay, I don't think you need your lights coming from bottom up. They need to come from top down." And I was like, "But the landscape guy said that they," he said, "Nope, they come from top up, top down." So he came over one day, he put the lights in. We came home and the lights come on and off automatically. I said, "My God, the house, in our opinion, is so super nice with the lights on it. So super nice with the landscaping." And, Full and I, now we go back and we think about what the Lord has done. We think about where we started from being in two houses, having the two storages. And on this past Tuesday, I closed on my other house. And you guys, I wish I had the letter. I'm going to close out our call or our thing tonight. I wish I could, hopefully I can quickly find it, because I want to share with you, when you sow seeds, although we're talking today about, let's talk about houses. I want to share with you, Full and I believe that we sow into, we're good sowers and we're good givers, and not just of money, of time, of whatever people need, even like for gifts. And like we go out to dinner, we sow, and we go out, we tip well, and our hands are always here. It's not here taking. And so when you give like that, then we believe. And even when I was in the process of selling the house, like I walked through my house, our house, but you guys know what I mean. So I walked through the house, and even though it was already had put a bid on the house, we had a closing. As I was walking through one day, I think I was picking up the mail, and I saw like some bug or something on the floor, or something else that wasn't right, or the motion blinds, they didn't come up and down. So even though I had already sealed the deal, I could have said, "Let them figure it out." No, 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 no. What I did is I put together a turnover sheet of all the electrical companies we use, the landscaping, the fire pit, the lighting, a general contractor that we use, anything and everything. How did the audio system come on the house? I left all the theater equipment And I mean, I left all of it: the projector, the TV, the TV, the chairs, um, everything. I left it for the new person because I wanted it to operate the same. I didn't want the person to have to figure it out. I'm thankful that the person that bought the house is a retired gentleman. So here's what he sent to me, you guys, and I'm gonna close out today with this. He says, Darlene, good evening. I don't even know how he got my email. Maybe it was on some of the closing documentation, but he sent it to me. And he says, my name is, and I'll be purchasing your home from you in the morning. First, I just want to thank you for the opportunity. Secondly, I want to tell you that I looked at dozens of homes and yours really stood out for the care that you've taken with it and just the overall beauty of it. And for that, I really want to commend you. From the moment I first stepped inside, I told myself, this is it. Sometimes you just know. Finally, I want to acknowledge that selling a home can be an emotional experience for some people with so many memories and so much nurturing invested in it, like raising a child or tending to a garden. Please know that I have every intention of living up to the example that you've set, and you have my word that I'll do my best to continue honoring your standard of care. Be well, sincerely, Mr. Jones. When I tell you guys, I was in tears because I'd never had anybody to appreciate the level of care that we had put into that home. And that home looks brand new on the inside. I know that some realtors, and they can probably attest, and you probably can attest as well. You looked at homes before, you've rented a property, you've gone in and look a hot mess. And so you got to do all this work to restore it. And that's not what I wanted my house to. I didn't want to leave it that way. And I wanted someone to purchase it who loved it as much as I did. And it was very hard for me to let it go. Austin, I told the new homeowner. In fact, when we went to closing last week, when he walked in the room, he walked up to me and gave me a hug. I said, "You know what, Mr. Jones, thank you." And he said, "I just want you to know." He said, "It's just me. I'm planning, if all goes well, to retire, make that retirement home." He said, "I love the theater. It's my man cave." He said, "But I just want to commend you for all the work that you've done, and I promise I will care for that home." He said, "So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years, 20 years from now, I hope that it will look and be up to the standard that you left it." And I was like, thank you, Father. So that's giving. So I'm going to encourage you today, even though we talked about houses and where we are, I believe the manifestation of God's goodness has showed up in this new home because of how we treated the former houses. Fuller was leasing his home in Fayetteville, and he took good care of that house that he didn't even have to take. A lot of people don't take good care of somebody else's property. And so, but he took good care of it so that she didn't have to have a lot of repairs done. He even would have the yard cut. He took care of all the any kind of maintenance repairs. But that's the sowing of the good seed. So just remember, sow the do good seed. And for that, the Mr. Joneses will show up, whether it's in marital relationships, whether that's in your finances, somebody sowing seeds back into you, whether that's in ministry, or whether that's in relationships, whatever, or somebody giving back to you everything that you desired or wanted. It's available, but you got to be a giver and a sower and sow good. I'm not talking about money. Just talking about sowing good time, energy, home, good looking car. Don't sell a car and it look nasty, or drive your car and it's always dirty. All those kinds of things. We live good because we expected good and we got what we asked for. See what the Lord has done. Thank you guys for joining tonight. Hey, everybody. Sorry I didn't get a chance to do all my shout outs, but y'all know this is DQ today. Fuller didn't show up. And so this is All In with DQ, Godfidence. We just talked about houses and that's it. Come back. And if y'all post and say, hey, yeah, well, okay, I see y'all posting already. You want to see the video? Some spotty moments. But I did take a tour of the outside of the house. And you can chew the meat, spit out the bones. Y'all know what it's saying because you can see it. Okay. So anyway, I love you guys. And we will see you in October. Tomorrow's the end of September. I said tomorrow. Today is the end of September. And we are now going into October. Welcome to October. Love you guys. Take care. See you the next time.